Hey guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Tech Talk with Kurt. I'm Kurt, and today I have a special guest.
I'm Snow.
Snow. So I warned you in the last episode, she's been trying to get in the Tech Talks, and today we're lucky enough to have her here. But today actually Tech Talk meets Real Talk. So if you guys have watched some of our other videos, you know that we have a Real Talk series where we just kind of keep it real in terms of what it's like to live in a van and experience some of the things we do. We also have a travel series. But today, Tech Talk meets Real Talk, and we had a near catastrophe in the van, guys, and we're going to share that with you today. And I'll tell you what, it shook both of us up a lot. But today, we're coming to you live from
South Florida. That's right. We know we were supposed to be in Mexico by now for anybody that's been following us, but we also know we needed to winterize the van. And my niece is getting married in Georgia in the first week of January. So we said, let's just head back east, fix the van, meet friends, meet up with friends and family one more time for the holidays, see the wedding, and then haul booty to Mexico. So that's what we did. We took a big detour, guys.
Yeah, so this is a big detour, and I'll tell you, it's already been very rewarding on many fronts, but we're going to talk about winterizing the van here. But before we do that, I just want to give a special shout out and thanks to my parents. We're here with them. We've been here for a few days, and Mom has just been putting on these amazing meals, and so feeding us real good. And then Dad has a super nice shop with all the tools, and so it's been a real nice workspace. We have a little canopy or covered workstation.
His mom keeps making cookies.
Yeah.
That I have to eat because they're so good. So anyway.
Snow's loving on the cookies. But so it's been really nice, and we've had family coming over throughout. We're not going to be here for Christmas, but I got to tell you, it's been a really special holiday season. And so I'm super glad that we actually ended up making this detour. And, the bonus is that it's been a nice workstation to actually do some repairs. And so the good news is, and I don't know if you guys saw the episode when we were in the Grand Canyon area. I think it was actually Bryce Canyon, and we had a freezing situation, and we broke the spin down filter for our recirculating shower, and all the water drained out. And so we ordered that, and I was able to get that replaced. And then all the way back in, I think it was South Dakota or Wyoming. Yeah, when we got into, I think it was Wyoming, we actually busted off our accumulator tank. Accumulator for our pump, pressurizes the pump, keeps the system aligned. I think we've actually had some comments or questions on, do those things really add benefit? My answer is absolutely yes. I put a new accumulator tank on there, and boy, the pump doesn't cut on off nearly as much, and it's also much quieter.
Yeah,
and so
nice.
It's been really good. So I was able to get that done, and then I was also able to get some winterizing the pipes so that we don't freeze those up. And so I'm not going to share that with you today. I'm just going to tease you with it today. This was Snow's brilliant idea, and we're going to talk about that more. I've got it plumbed in, but I don't have it fully, the electric's fully done and hooked up. So we're going to talk about that maybe in the next Tech Talk or an upcoming episode. But what I did do is I started plumbing in the heater. And so the heater is inside. It's fed by our hydronic heating system. The glycol circulates through that and up into the van. And that's where the story begins. And so watch this and you'll see
the disaster.
What happened.
So we're at Kurt's parents' house for the holidays, and we came a little bit early because he's got this great covered area where Kurt can do some work on the van. And y'all know Kurt's done some pretty creative and forward-thinking stuff on this van. We had one go not quite exactly right, so we're having to fix it. I don't know all the details, so Kurt will explain it.
So I wanted to explain to you what we were working on. So I was working on the air heater for inside the van. And so if you guys have, if you watched the hydronic heating Tech Talk video, we have a hydronic heating system, which means we have a diesel S-bar heater that heats and circulates glycol or antifreeze through a closed loop system underneath the van. and that's what we use to heat our water for both our sink and our shower. So it circulates it through 2 heat exchangers, one for the sink, one for the shower, and back to the heater. And that heats that antifreeze or glycol to about 170 to 190 degrees, and that's what heats our hot water. So the idea is that we're going to tap into that to heat our the air inside the van. And so I got a heater unit right here. So if you guys can see this, I'll just show you how this works. So the idea is the glycol would come in through here, and inside this little heater unit, there's tubes and there's coils and there's like these little metal blades in there. So that 170 degrees glycol would circulate up in here and then come back out and continue to get reheated. It'd heat this inside up. And then on the back here, I don't know if you guys can see this, on the back there's a big blower. So the idea is, and this has got a 3-speed option to it, so you can set that and that'll blow the air through these hot foils right here, and that'll heat the air in the van. And so that's what we set out to do. And so underneath the van, I cut into the existing loop, and the intention is to run it through here. And I'll just kind of explain to you what this piping is, this tubing is. So the idea is the hot glycol comes in here, and this is a 3-way valve. And so from this 3-way valve, so right now you can see I've got the valve pointing this way. So the glycol would come in, it would have no choice but to turn here, follow this loop. Now here, there's a little arrow on this, but this is a backflow preventer, our check valve. And so basically the glycol couldn't go this way. So this is a bypass. So the glycol would go here, 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 and then back in the loop. And the reason I wanted a bypass was if it's in the summer or it's warm, we didn't want that 170, 190 degree glycol to come up into the van, into the heater, even though we didn't have the blower on. It could create some heat in the van, so we didn't want that. So I made this little bypass. And so that's the bypass route. So if I want to turn the heater on, so we're in winter, I'll turn this valve this way. And so what happens is the glycol then would come into this T, it would go straight and then up into the van, into the heater, out of the heater, back down through this pipe, and it would go through this one-way check valve and right up and recirculate in the system. And so that would close the loop, and then we would have the heater. So again, this gives me the opportunity to turn it off or to turn it on. And so I plumbed all this in, and except for, because I didn't have the switch and the electrics for this yet, I had it on order, so I didn't have this on. But I set the valve to bypass. So again, that means no glycol should go up into the van because I had this closed. So right here, I went and I turned the system on. I filled it with the antifreeze. I turned it on, and I looked over, and water's dripping out of the van. So I went over and I was like, oh no, I have a leak. I crawled into the van, and I saw it was literally dripping through the van. So I ran inside, and lo and behold, the check valve had failed, and or my 3-way valve was the wrong way, and I was pumping antifreeze into the van. And that's when the chaos really began. And Snow's going to pick it up from here.
Okay guys, now that Kurt's explained all the details to you, I'm gonna head inside the van here. The scariest part of that whole incident was that antifreeze ended up spilling into the van, which Kurt's probably already told you. So I'm inside with his parents, and I come in, and he comes in screaming for towels, screaming antifreeze is in the van. Very hectic scene. I come running out. And as I'm getting in the car, he's already in, and he's tossing Vanna towards the front of the van, not throwing her, just tossing her. Everything was crazy. And she was in the antifreeze. So I picked her up. The first thing I did is smell her face. And guys, I smelled antifreeze on her face, and I knew it was on her paws. It scared the daylights out of me. And I don't know much about it, but I do know that antifreeze kills pets. So it was very crazy. I'm washing her off in the sink. I'm scrubbing her little face. I'm trying to wash off her tongue. I have no idea if she's drank this stuff or not. The whole time we're on the phone, but within 10 minutes, we were en route to an emergency vet, which is good. So we get there, and timing is the most important thing with this kind of poisoning in a pet. And we still don't know if she's drank it or not, but you can't take the chance. So they take her back, they get her an IV, they get her a catheter, and they are pumping fluids through her. And while they're doing this, they're drawing blood and they're running the tests. So after about an hour at the vet, extremely stressful, comes back that she doesn't have any showing up in her blood. The vet wanted to be safe and keep her for another 5 or 6 hours and just keep flushing her little system. Because what we learned is if it was in her system, it messes up their kidneys. And that's what kills them. Antifreeze will kill them. It's very deadly. But she had a rough day at the vet. She probably still doesn't know why, which is hard on us. But we are happy to report that she's fine. It's 2 days later. There are no symptoms. So she's going to be A-okay, other than a little bruise on her cute little arm where they had to put the IV in. And what we're dealing with now is when she came back from the vet, they washed her down with antiseptic all over to get any antifreeze off of her fur. So she smelled really weird to G, our other kitty, and they're having to kind of get to know each other again. So we're dealing with that, but they're making great progress, and that's all going to turn out good. But that's the main reason Kurt has just completely changed his mind about how we're going to heat the air in the van. We don't want to take any chances of anything like that ever happening again. So it was a tough decision because he has to undo a lot of work that he did, which I'm sure he's already told you guys because he explained all the technical stuff. But it's the right choice for us going forward. So see her. She's good to go. Other than a little bruise on her leg, look at her. She wants some loving. So I'm going to stop this video and give her a little loving. Actually, I'll pick her up so you guys can see her. Here she is. See, she is just fine. Aren't you, baby? Look at her. Sweet as can be. So, moral of the story is doing a DIY van build isn't always easy. There's going to be some things you have to undo and redo and change course in the middle. And I'm just super thankful that Kurt has a mind that thinks through those kind of things. So we wanted to share this story with you guys so you kind of know that it's not always super perfect.
If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell. If you want to help support our videos, be sure to check out our Patreon page, where you can join the journey and see some behind-the-scenes action. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys in a few days.